Hi folks, today's video is all about spraying. We're going to set up our doors that we stripped back last week, and we're going to hopefully be able to spray all of them in one hit in here. So stick around and we'll make a start. So today's video is part 2 of our door restoration project. Part 1, I'll stick in a card up in the top corner now. You can head over and watch that. You'll see what we started with and how we got to this point now. So these original doors have been covered up with hardboard and gloss paint for the last 50 or 60 years, and we're finally getting around to restoring them. Right, I'm pretty much geared up now for spraying. I'm going to be using a small Graco unit. It's far easier with smaller amounts of paint. Simple stuff, normal acrylic primer undercoat. This is the Leyland one, which I use for just about everything. We just pop the lid up and we squeeze until the paint is primed up into this bubble here. Then we close it, and then we know that this is under. Well, it will become under like a vacuum, but no air in there. Basically means we can shoot any angle, doesn't really matter. Now, while we were all geared up with the sprayer and we had a load of undercoat in the gun, it made sense to just crack on and get all the undercoat done on these skirting boards. These are left over from another renovation that was being done locally 8 years ago when we moved in. We bought a whole bunch of them. These ones have been kicking around ever since, trying to find a home. They are MDF. They're 25mm thick. They're really nice, tall profile. Not my first choice of material, you know, using MDF for skirting boards, but they're pretty decent looking once they're in place, and more important than that, they will no longer be cluttering up the workshop. So a good decent coat getting into all the nooks and crannies with the gun, and then we'll get them installed and we'll finish them probably with a brush once they're in place. Right, we are back on our doors. Everything's dried up overnight really well. I mean, this undercoat dries super quick as it is. We're now at a point where we can start going through all of these tedious amount of holes that we've got all over our doors. We're going to fill those and sand them. Now, I thought I was going to have to take all the doors down, work on one individually, then put them back up to spray. Actually, they're not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure we can rest the sander on here and do all of our filling without moving them. They can stay as they are. So I'm going to do that. That should speed things up, and then hopefully we'll get round to going off, getting some paint mixed and get the first coat on today. Right, I've gone dotty with the filler. It's It's also a bit fumey in here, so I'm going to leave the room with the door open, and hopefully it won't take too long for all this to dry and be ready to sand. Right, that's all the exhausting prep work done. I've now got all of the pinholes filled to a point where I can spray everything, and after that first coat, any of the last little bits will show up. I've also gone in and filled the mortises where the locks were, well, several locks on each door, so they're all filled. There's a couple of spots on one of the locks on each one where I know that will be covered by our new rim locks. Anyway, I'm now going to go ahead and spray. What we're going with is diamond eggshell. We've used eggshell on most of the joinery in the house, although I have used satin on the cabinets for the utility and bathroom I made. You can get the diamond satin wood. None of our merchants locally, all three, Jewson's, Build Base and Travis Perkins, didn't have the light base available. So that forced me to use eggshell. I was going to go this route anyway. I think it'll be heavy duty enough for what we need. It's not cheap. To get this mixed was just under £100, and that was with a bit of a discount. So it's yeah, but we break it down per door, 20 quid a door. Although we put a good old day and a half into all the prep, it's cheaper than buying new doors. Just let's hope it sprays well. One of the bonus chisels from the old tool chest. Fear not, it's not a proper one. Now my main concern is overspray. We've got lovely brand new white walls in this studio room, and I've been telling myself it's going to be okay. Most of the overspray is normally dry and powdery before it hits anything. Otherwise I could be putting a bit more emulsion on tonight. Now I wouldn't be starting to paint with a paintbrush if I knew that I've got a takeaway coming in about 15 minutes. But that's one of the benefits with spraying, I guess. Providing I can do the tidy up in 10 minutes. And one final thing I've done is I've just vacuumed everywhere, dusted everything off, and also used the blower to make sure we haven't got anything stuck in the nooks and crannies. Well, that is all the doors sprayed and some of the walls. To be honest, unless you really looked, it's just a couple of little freckles not too bad at all. Of course, you would normally do the doors or any interior spraying like this before you did the walls, but we hadn't planned to do the doors, so that's why we did it the order we did it. Hopefully they're going to kind of lighten down a bit. You can see where the filler is a little bit lighter, so hopefully everything will even out, and then we can get on to stage 2 of filling and sanding and all that good stuff. Right, let's go have that takeaway. Right, takeaway done, glass of wine drank. I'm not sure I'm up for decorating again tonight, but hey-oh, we've got to get this done because Jo needs to move into her studio. Right, let me show you how we're looking. Things are pretty good. Firstly, overspray on the walls. I don't think we need to concern ourselves with. Now, looking at the doors themselves, I think there's a little bit of kind of fiddling around to do before I go on with the next coat. A little bit of sanding to do. I think the gap is just part of the moulding. It looks okay, but where we've just got a little bit of a crack in the paint almost in here, I think it's probably worth putting a really fine little run of caulk, smear it off before we paint. Now, just to throw something else in the mix, I'm actually not going to be spraying our final coat. My last coat I want to be a brushed finish. It's just more of a traditional look, and it's also easier if we come back in and touch up bits in the future. If someone scuffs or snags something, it's easy enough to touch up with a brush, whereas spraying, you know, you're going to need to just get a little touch-up spray like that one and do a small section, but you still got to mask off. Anyway, we've done all the hard work and saved a good few hours probably of all the painting if we'd done it by hand. We're now at the point where I need to decide how far we're going to go with this prep and restoration. I could just keep going and keep going, filling every divot and hole, but I think we're at a point now where we can be happy with the point we're at and know that we've left a little bit of character in there. Treating myself to another brush. My last Worcester lasted me about 3 years, so it's worth getting a good one because you tend to look after it more. I'll leave a link to this one and my smaller kind of sash brush, which I use all the time because they are great. Going through and painting the panels first because there's a natural break there. Water-based paint dries so quick. Fortunately, this isn't quite so bad as some of the others, but you really can't afford to finish a door and then come back and touch something up, so you need to be quite methodical about it. Whereas when we were using that linseed paint, which is lovely stuff, on the roof, then I was able to spend my time laying on really evenly, come back, change things, get the brush strokes just right. Whereas this, we've only really got one shot. So I'm sure you seasoned decorators have loads of tips for panel doors, but once I've done the actual panels, I'm then running down the styles and, well, in this case, across the rail all the way to the side. Then that means that when I come back in on my final brush strokes, I can just make sure that I'm cutting across just on that join between the two bits of joinery. Now the likelihood is this will finish quite flat anyway, so you probably won't see too much of it. Right, I'm going to leave it there. It's far too late. I should have stopped a long time ago, but keen to get this finished. I think we're pretty much there. These are now got, well, I've now got the undercoat primer on, 2 coats, one sprayed, one brushed, and I think once they're in place, then I'll get a better feel for any touch-ups we might want to do. The lighting in here is just so harsh that it's just making it look 10 times worse than what it probably is. So I'm going to wait till I see them in situ, wait till all of our brush strokes have mellowed out and dried. We'll shift them up there tomorrow. Hopefully I can pick up some hinges. If not, I just need them out of this room, because the goal is in the next 24 or 48 hours is to get this room completely emptied and move on to that. And also what your thoughts are spraying versus brushing or rolling. Probably took about 6 or 7 minutes max to spray all 5 doors, and it's probably taken me the best part of 2-3 hours now to do exactly the same doors by brush. But you know, the spraying is not going to give you the traditional look that a brush will, so it's a balancing act, and I think this was a good way to go. 2 coats with the sprayer, I'll finish it with the brush. Another final thought is I could have sprayed and then brushed on just to give it the brushed texture. That's one option as well, but we're done now and I want to go to bed. Anyway, let's leave it there. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.